This is your first video, and this is usually how I do it, that I'm going to work out each question and you can follow along, pause the video if you want to work them out one by one with me, or just watch it all at one time. The first question, you're ordering the numbers from least to greatest. So if you look in the hundreds place, 3 would be the smallest, then 7, so 738 would come next, and then 873. When you're comparing two numbers, good practice is to write them one on top of the other and then compare them from left to right. The ones are the same, but then in the hundreds column, 1 is smaller than 3, so that means that 1,397 has to be the bigger number. So we're going to put our less than symbol showing that it opens up to the bigger number. When you're adding decimals, line up the decimals, bring the decimal down, and simply add. We'll do this again for number 4. Lining up the decimals. And let's fill in that empty space with a 0. 8 plus 9, 17. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your decimal down, and then 5. So the answer is 5 and 67 hundredths. With subtraction, you're going to also line up the decimals, putting the first one in the problem on top and the second one below it, and then subtract. We need to borrow. 11 minus 3 is 8. 8 minus 3, 5. Bring the decimal down, and our 0. So we're doing a lot of repetition here. Same process. This one though, you have the number that's smaller first in the problem and then the bigger number. I would go ahead and put the bigger number on top. Oops. And then the 6 in the ones place. Don't forget, behind every whole number is a decimal, so that's why we're going to put the 6 to the left of the decimal right underneath the 9. That is usually where people get this wrong. And 25 and 2/10 is our final answer. Number 7. I'm going to work it out over here so we have more room. Again, we have 3. Now this one, you don't have to order them from biggest to smallest necessarily, but you do need to make sure that they're all in the right place value column before you add. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Carry my 1. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And don't forget to bring your decimal down. Whoops, I'm sorry. So 9 and 19 hundredths is the answer to number 7. Number 8. We have another subtraction problem. 8 will go underneath the 2 in the ones place, add a 0 and a decimal before you subtract. Need to borrow. 12 minus 8 is 4. And then bring down, I don't know why I put it, sorry, my 1. And remember, if you ever want to check a subtraction problem to make sure that you have it correct, we can add 8 plus your answer and you will get 22 and 47 hundredths. Question number 9. 32 and 78 hundredths minus 23. Let's add a decimal and zeros as placeholders, and then subtract. (12 minus 3 is 9. So we're going to see A matches my answer, so A is the correct answer. Number 10, 25 and 21 hundredths plus 7. 5 is in the ones place, so is 7, so we'll add a decimal and 2 zeros and add. (32 and 21 hundredths is our answer. Last one on this page, 2 and 26 hundredths. 7 goes in the ones place, so that would be to the left of the decimal. 2 and 1/10, we'll fill in a 0 as a placeholder, and then add. 6, 2 plus 1 is 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. On the back side, we are going to multiply. Remember, with multiplication, you do not line up the decimals. In fact, we can ignore the decimals until after we're done with our problem. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 5, 25, plus 3, 28. It is unnecessary to go through the process with the 2 zeros, because at this point, you just count the numbers behind the decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make sure your answer has 4 digits behind the decimal. And that's the final answer. We'll do it again. 74 hundredths times 2 hundredths. Again, it's really like multiplying 74 times 2 and then counting up the decimals, or the numbers behind a decimal, and placing it. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. It's unnecessary to do those 2 zeros. Count up your numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Numbers behind a decimal, so that means I have 4 in my answer. I'm going to work out 14 over here, running out of space. 15 times 1.8. It's tempting to want to line up those decimals, but you don't line up decimals with multiplication. So now we're going to multiply 8 times 15, 8 times 5, 40, 8 times 1 plus 4, 12. Then we put a 0 in this column, because now we're multiplying by 1, which of course 1 times 15 is just 15. And then we add, place our decimal. So our answer to number 14 is 27. 15. 10 times 7/10. Multiply, place your decimal. 1 digit behind the decimal in my problem, 1 in my answer. So 7 is my answer. Okay, number 16. I'm going to use this workspace over here. 0.89 times 0.07. We're going to multiply 89 times 7. 7 times 9, 63. 7 times 8 is 56. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. And then we place our decimal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 digits behind the decimal in our problem, so there needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4 in my answer. Let's see if we can find that answer. And it looks like it is D. So D is the correct answer for number 16. Let's do it again with number 17. 56 hundredths times 1 hundredth. Of course, 1 times 56 is just 56. Count our digits behind the decimal are 4. So we need to add some zeros so that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits behind the decimal in our answer. Look and see if we can find, and looks like D is yet again the correct answer. All right, number 7. 7 minus 4.6. 7 and 4 are both in the ones column, so we'll make sure that they are stacked on top of each other. add my decimal and 0 so that I'll be able to borrow correctly. 10 minus 6 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. So 2.4 or 2 4/10 is our final answer. 2 times 1 is 2. This one we can just multiply and then count how many digits are behind the decimal, which is 2. So I'm going to have to add a 0 in front of the 2, decimal 0. 4 times 2 is 8. Count the digits behind the decimal. 1, 2. Make sure we have 1, 2 behind the decimal and add our 0. Good luck.